The cursed music box that won't stop playing, whispering. It just stopped. It does that every single time. Right before he shows up, a faint scratching sound is heard from the corner of the room. Okay, so for any of this to make sense, we have to go back to the beginning, to where I found this thing about a month ago. I've always loved old things, you know. Objects with a past, things that feel like they have a story. But this is one story I really wish I'd never learned. Do you believe an object can be cursed, that it can hold on to an echo of the past, a piece of someone's soul, or their sadness? I was always on the fence. I figured stories about cursed objects were just that, stories. Spooky campfire tales. But living with this thing has completely changed my mind. It started out as this beautiful, charming antique. Now I'm convinced it's a vessel for something that doesn't know it's dead. The discovery. I spotted it at a flea market on a rickety table tucked behind a stack of dusty books. Turns out it's a Marmot Frere music box. They were famous Swiss makers back in the late 1800s. Even under a layer of grime, the woodwork was just beautiful. It felt special. The seller didn't know much, just that it came from the estate of a woman who'd lived to be over 100. He gave it to me for a steal. When I got it home and cleaned it up, it was even more stunning. I found a small, almost hidden plaque on the bottom. The engraving was faint, but I could just make out a name, Luke. The key was still with it, and when I wound it up, this beautiful, sorrowful melody filled the room. It was a simple, haunting little tune. For the first week, it was just a cool find. I'd play it every now and then, enjoying the vibe. I was so proud of it. But then things started getting strange. It was subtle at first. I'd come home from work and find the lid open, even though I knew I'd closed it. I blamed my cat, or maybe a faulty latch. It's old, after all. Then one night I woke up to its melody playing softly from the living room. I just froze in my bed, listening. It played its full tune and then stopped. I told myself I must have dreamed it. There's no way it could play on its own. You have to wind the spring, right? The escalation. A few nights later, it happened again. This time, I knew I was awake. It was 3:13 a.m. I grabbed my phone to record it, but the second I hit the button, the music stopped. The silence that followed felt heavier than the music had. A deep, profound sense of sadness washed over me. A feeling that was not my own. It was a grief that seemed to be radiating from the box itself. After that, it started happening more and more. The music would play at random times, day or night, but usually in the middle of the night, and that feeling of sorrow was always there with it. I started noticing cold spots in the house, always right around the music box. One evening, I was sitting on the couch when the air around me got so cold, I could see my breath. I grabbed a digital thermometer and pointed it at the area around the box. It was a full 15 degrees colder than the rest of the room. The thing that really shook me happened last week. A friend was over, and I was telling her about all the weird stuff. She was skeptical, of course. Then, as if on cue, the music box started to play. We both just stared at it. The lid was down, the key was slack, but the melody was clear as day. My friend's face went white, and it wasn't just the music. This time we both heard something else, a faint sound, almost like a child's sigh, right as the music ended. That's when I knew. I wasn't just imagining things. This wasn't a faulty spring. Something is attached to this box. The investigation. I had to figure out what was going on. This wasn't a quirky antique anymore. It was filling my home with this oppressive sadness and genuinely starting to scare me. I started with the only clues I had, the name Luke and the maker, Mermaid Frere. I spent days digging through online archives, historical records, anything I could find, looking for a connection. What I eventually found wasn't in a history book. It was a piece of local folklore from the Swiss region, where the Mermaid Frere workshop used to be. The legend tells of a master craftsman named Jacob Dubois, who worked there in the 1890s. He was a brilliant artisan, but a deeply troubled man, especially after losing his wife. His only happiness was his young son, Luke. According to the story, Luke was a frail boy who loved music more than anything. His father, Jacob, a one-of-a-kind music box just for him with a sorrowful tune he composed himself. It was the only thing that seemed to bring the boy comfort. But Luke's health got worse, and he died before his 10th birthday, clutching that very music box. The legend says Jacob was consumed by grief. He became obsessed with the idea that his son's spirit was attached to the box, and he believed that if the music ever stopped playing, Luke's spirit would be lost forever. So he tinkered with it, supposedly creating a mechanism that would allow it to play on its own, powered by an echo of his own sorrow. It was just a tragic old story, but the parallels, a boy named Luke, a sorrowful tune. Could this really be his box? I decided I had to try and document this properly. I set up a night vision camera and a digital audio recorder right next to the box. For 2 nights, nothing. I started to feel like an idiot, just chasing shadows and letting my imagination get the best of me. But on the 3rd night, I caught something. Mid-video CTA. The music started at around 2 a.m. The camera shows the lid of the box, shut tight, not moving at all. But the audio recorder, it picked up something else. You have to listen to this. I've boosted the audio, but I haven't changed it in any other way. The music box tune plays, and underneath it, a very faint, almost inaudible whisper can be heard. Listen closely, right after the main melody fades out. What do you hear?
Papa.
I've listened to this 100 times, and I swear I can hear a little boy's voice saying a single word. Papa. Please let me know in the comments what you hear. Am I going crazy, or is that there, hearing that voice, that single word? It changed everything. I wasn't just chasing a ghost story anymore. I felt like I was in it. I went out and bought an EMF meter. I know, it's not scientific proof, but it's a standard tool for paranormal investigators, and I was desperate. They're supposed to detect spikes in electromagnetic fields, which some people believe happen when a spirit is present. I waited. The next night, the music started again. As the first few notes played, I switched on the EMF meter. Nothing. The needle stayed flat, but as the melody built to its saddest part, the meter shrieked. The lights flashed red and the needle shot into the highest part of the scale. It was a huge, localized energy spike right over the box. It stayed there for the entire song. The second the music stopped, the meter went dead silent. I ran the same experiment 3 more times that week. The result was the exact same every single time. The energy spike is tied directly to the music. It's like the melody itself is tearing a little hole in reality just for a moment and letting something through. This feels like more than a haunting. It feels like a residual memory trapped in a loop. The legend of Jacob Dubois and Luke makes a terrifying amount of sense now. A father so desperate to keep his son's memory alive that he ties it to a song. a sorrow so powerful it leaves an actual imprint on the world. I don't think Luke's spirit is evil. I think he's just lost. The music plays, he appears, maybe looking for his father, and then he's gone, leaving only that crushing sadness behind. I have no idea what to do. I've thought about selling the box or even destroying it, but the story of Jacob Dubois haunts me. What if destroying the box or just stopping the music is like him losing his son all over again? Could I actually do that? Some haunted objects, like the Annabelle doll, are locked away. But this doesn't feel malevolent. It just feels tragic. Last night, something new happened. The music played, same as always. But after it stopped and after that wave of sadness hit me, I heard a new sound. It wasn't a whisper. It was a clear, distinct tap from inside the box. Then another. And one more. I haven't opened it. I'm terrified of what I might find, or what might happen if I do. The music has stopped for now, but I know it's going to play again. And I'm stuck here with this impossible choice. Do I try to break this cycle? Maybe bring some peace to a lost soul? Or do I let the cursed music play on, preserving a father's heart, breaking tribute forever? What would you do? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you've ever dealt with anything like this, please share your story. I could really use some advice right now. Subscribe for updates, because I have a bad feeling this is far from over. Thank you for watching Fear Files Real Nightmares. Until next time, keep your lights on and your doors locked.